Greetings guys, this is Reg back in with another video. Today I figured to do the Griffin Navy today. Now I wouldn't particularly say the Griffin Navy is very meta, but I was pleasantly surprised how well this fit actually did. Right? We're like blaster, a bit of shield buffer, and then newt is what I really like about this fit. So the range control we have, we can pretty much almost always apply the newt. Maybe some things I can pull range from is can be a bit spicy. Say like dual web or the firetails. Hook bells can be a bit of an issue too. That's why I initially was using, I think I was either dose 1 or dose 2 Paralancia of this fit. But even with the dual webs and AB, just because the Griffin Navy's base speed is so low, I think I ended up going for a dose 2 overclocker, just get a 5% extra speed. Just to ensure that we can like keep up with most things or get into the range of most things. I was using two 5% implants for damage at the start. I might have ended up switching that out at some point to lower DPS implants, but at the very start, they'll be using two 5%, which I know is a bit spicy. But hey, you know, just a little tip. 5% small hybrid for whatever reason is actually really cheap. Normally a 5% implants use about 150 mil. But the 5% hybrid, for whatever reason, it's only about 30 to 40 mil. So if you're running Atrons or a lot of comets, you know, like hybrid blaster bolts, it's definitely worth picking up for cheap 5%. There's not too much more to go over this fit. Like I say, some things can pull range from you. The one thing that I probably wouldn't really go against in this is a Vigil Fleet. A dual web long point Vigil Fleet will just do so many bad things to you, but pretty much everything else you can take. Like I say, the dual web firetail can do bad things to you. Hook bells if they have more speed range control than you. But pretty much everything else you can go for. I did find that a lot of T1 frigates would go for this too. I haven't included them in the video because I feel like they're a bit dull. But yeah, I think people underestimate the Griffin. There is reasons for that. It isn't particularly an amazing faction frigate, but it can get stuff done. So a lot of people underestimate that. Like a lot of breachers and curses wanted to fight it, and then just in addition of that, newt, just like really bad things to them. So enough of my mumbling and whatnot. Let's go on to. Okay, here we're going to start with a Crucifier Navy issue. I was actually expecting it to be a very easy fight. If you use dual web, this was a single web one, so I was really surprised of the outcome of this. He was really fast, he got a lot of range at the start there, and cause we were slow, I think this is when I was using I'm noticing I'm not having any boosters active. I think I might have had Paralancia at the moment. But this is what kind of tore me to use Overclocker. So even though I thought dual webs, I know we're really slow, but yeah, it takes a long time to get into range, tight orbit of the CN9. By that time, we've taken way too much damage, right? I was hoping that a newt maybe kick in at this point, but it's looking pretty bleak for me at this point. It's still relatively close, but just because of the bad agility we have and the speed, we lose this one. This I think it's a Dramio. Dramos can be quite spooky, especially if they're dual web or dual rep, right? I think both of those would have had us. The dual rep one would be interesting actually. I think our newt and our DPS might have actually cracked it for us. But this is just, Dramios are actually quite easy to get around if they're just single and sane dual prop or AB like shield extender web scram. So they're really fast. You don't actually have a lot of range control in that setup, not that much tank. So once I get to like, I keep at 1k, that might have been a bit of a mistake, maybe 1.4. But yeah, we take this Dramio. Okay, here we have two fights against two firetails, one of which being Arty, one of which being autos. This is an Arty one. Basically what I do with every firetail is I just approach, I stick with null at the start because I expect the firetails to pull range, but I'm hoping if our dual webs T2, I'll take too long for it to pull range, maybe our newt will take effect, maybe force them to run the Repper, you know, their E-War and stuff, maybe that'll cap them out and then can orbit them close. And like null, because he'll probably be pulling out for range, right, as opposed to void and anti. But this gentleman wasn't running a T2 AB, he was using a T1 AB and two T1 webs. So we're actually able to keep up with him here. What I should have really done at this point, now that I see that I'm keeping up with him, is orbit him close, but it still works for us. Had he run a T2 AB and a dual T1 webs, which most firetails run, he should have been able to pull range from a snowballer. And this is an autocannon firetail, and this brings up one of the weaknesses of the Griffin that I wasn't really thinking of before. We don't have a tracking bonus here, and this is a very weird, like, sig tank firetail, right? So he actually ends up getting our guns. Like I say, I stick with null and approach at the start. Once I know that he's autos, I load Void. Void was the wrong call here. I was thinking I'd play quite well with Void and the dual webs. This wasn't the case. Antimatter was the right call here. I also make an arm mistake and we might end up burning out that AB. But I started lining in space. Had this AB not burnt out, I think we would have been able to play a bit better once we started double clicking in space. But yeah, burn that out, and then I think that's kind of where I was kind of buggered. I should have maybe switched to antimatter, but I was just staying committed to Void. At this point, I was hoping that maybe the newt would take effect. It's a long call because he has a NOS, and then maybe we could warp out. But yeah. It just reminded me, oh yeah, we don't have a tracking board. This is bad. But yeah, it was definitely a good 1v1 against Kadesh here. He definitely knows his stuff. And yeah, we go down here. Okay, here we have a thing against a Hookbill. Basically, just want a ram approach. I usually stick with Void, because I do expect to keep up with Hookbills with the overclocker, those two running. Just because the Hookbill and the Griffin have a sort of similar base speed. Most Hookbills can only afford to run T1 web, so we have the advantage of the 10% extra slow, right? On top of the overclocker, and sometimes you can run T2 AB as well. So I was expecting to keep up with this guy, and we are. So the news taking effect. He has a active armor tank. I think he had shield buffer too. It was a very interesting Hookbill. I turn off that medium shield extender just to reduce our sig once we've run out for buffer, and yeah, it's a pretty close fight, but we take it. Okay, here we have some fights against comets. Blaster comets are usually a tricky one. You can't brawl them, I feel. So you have the same amount of buffer, and they usually fit Nosses. It's crazy how a comet can have the same amount of buffer as we are with a medium shield extender and have access to small Ansu. But basically how I play is I keep my range low here. Notice that he's blasters. I'm pulling myself out to 5k. I'm going to load null, so we're still applying damage and our newt's still taking effect. Hoping that this gentleman doesn't end up switching to null, or it takes a while to do so, keep a bit of pressure on him. We're getting a little bit in maybe his NOS fall off, maybe. So that hasn't taken as much effect either. This gentleman also didn't launch drones, so had he done so, it might be in a closer fight. But it really depends on how quickly your opponent reacts to your ammo switches. I make a really bad mistake in a second fight, and you'll see I'm very much punished for it. I am read like a book, and my strat doesn't really work as well as what I would hope it would have. But yes, we take this one. The second comment I do the same strat to. I believe I fought him once before, so he sort of knew what my fit was, and he knew exactly what I was going to do here. That made me very sad. So this is a blaster comment again. This is Lark. I'm I approach. Same strat, just to check in case his rails. If his rails will quickly orbit close. But I see blasters. Okay, what I should have done here is pull myself out to 5k whilst using Void, as opposed to switching null and going to 5k now. Because what Lark actually did, throughout all this fight, he's loaded null. Cheeky. But yeah, because he knew what I was going to do here. I was like, oh, he's actually got null here. I need to line out. I line out to a bad place. It actually brings me closer to him. I actually thought he had more range than me, but it was just me being bad. Yeah, we ended up losing this one. See if we just stick with Void and kept that 1-400, might have actually won that, but GF, my friend. That's me being too predictable, and I hate when people read me like this. This is a real one. I keep myself at 5k. I actually thought this guy was going to be blasters. I noticed that as rails, and what you want to do is orbit 500, and then we're going to go antimatter. Get under the guy's guns, and then let the newt take effect, right? It's only a matter of time. Either they kill us, right? Rail comets, even though you can get under the guns with something dual web like this, they can still get a good occasional little hit in, and the free drones on the go to. So this is still quite a spicy fight. Again, turn off medium shield extender when we're done with that buffer. It reduces their sig, makes it a bit harder to hit. Just don't do it before your shield buffer's gone, or you've lost all that shield buffer included with that module. So yes, we're continuing to orbit this guy. Things are looking great. I might be burning out stuff again. I need to get better at it. We need to work on our shortcuts as well, boys. We're not improving as much. I need, can't teach an old dog new tricks or whatever this. But yes, we end up taking this despite burning out all our stuff. Okay, that's all the fights I had for you guys. Sorry I didn't get more. But now that this video has ended, I'm going to open up a discussion, right? Like, once ECM was rebalanced, so that if you're jamming something with an ECM ship, they can still lock and shoot you. The Griffin Navy has kind of lost its niche, right? You used to see like a bunch of like weird like ECM ones with like polarized, or you know, just like similar to this, but maybe instead of like a web, there'd be a jam or something. And like, there's been a lot of discussion how to rebalance it. I've heard like give them old ECM back just for the Griffin Navy. Maybe make the drone like bonus for like an ECM drone. But the one I proposed and one that I think is the best option is give it a resistance bonus. Like say like, well, same as in Maryland, like 4% per level. That way it's still suited for solo PvP, but it can still be used in say like your blob warfare, right? Because I don't really feel like these faction electronic warfare frigates are really good for fleet. The only time that I really see them used outside of solos for just like blob when you're getting like a bunch of people against like say very few ships. I don't really see them having a place in pure like fleet on fleet, right? Where like just like a regular Griffin or say like the other faction frigates like the Griffin Navy, you wouldn't use that in a fleet, you just use regular Griffin. The Moss Navy is used in gate camping, you know. The official fleet's the only one that I'd probably see having like a lot of use in like small gang or potential fleet. So I think its niche would still be like there, like the Griffin Navy. It'd be good for solo with the 4% like more resistance as well. Well, 20% at level 5, and like a blob to like maybe fleet warfare. It's like it can get good reps, right? So you can maybe have them just like tank one thing whilst receiving reps. So I think the resistances works. I don't like the other one I've been thrown around a lot by other people is I give it like old ECM mechanics back, where if you lock someone, they can't lock anything, including you. And I hate that. I don't like that. I think ECM's just it's a disgusting thing. So I think giving the resistances will help both, like maybe make it a bit more meta. Not necessarily meta, but like better. I don't know. Post in the comments what you think the Griffin Navy should be done to the Griffin Navy attached to make it like, it's like decent to now, but it's not there, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm mumbling. Anyway, thank you guys for your time. It's always appreciated when you guys watch my videos. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, weekend, week, you know, all these things. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, boys.